Hi, welcome to the Signal Path. In the last episode I mentioned that I was going to do some giveaways in the future and that I would start with my top Patreon supporters since they are offering the most to the channel. At the same time, those who offer the most simply may be in a better financial situation. So as a compromise in fairness, I thought that I would give them the opportunity to pass it on to the next person. Perhaps they don't need it, they can afford it themselves, or they also just want to be generous. Sadly, my attempt at fairness has had an undesired effect. I was called greedy, and that this was my attempt at attracting more Patreon supporters. I have to say I'm very disappointed because nothing could be further from the truth. The giveaway items are my own personal items. It's not like giveaways on some of the other channels, which are sponsored. Now, the Signal Pad is my way of giving back to the community. It is non-for-profit. Patreon support is purely voluntarily. All the support is put back into the Signal Pad. My videos are free and will always be free. Just the cost of upgrading my recording equipment has been nearly 3 times of what I have received from Patreon so far. Your support allows the Signal Path to grow faster. Please remember that I do this on my free time, often sacrificing sleep. I have a full-time job and other interests as well. Well, I have to decide then to just do the giveaways to everybody, regardless of whether you support me on Patreon or not. Just leave a comment on a particular item if you're interested in it and why you're interested in it, what you're going to do with it, and we'll then be able to pick one and send it to you. And just be fair and be generous to the other people. I will pay for the shipping to send it to you. Now, just keep in mind that at the moment this is limited to the people in the United States only. I know that this is disappointing to my wonderful international followers, but as you can imagine, sending things internationally is quite complicated. I will try and solve it in the future, but for now, we're stuck with it. So I hope that you understand. But I have prepared a couple of things here that I was going to do later, but I thought since this came up, may as well just do it now. So let's take a look and see what I have, and maybe you like one of them. Alright, here's our first item. These are not in any particular order or anything like that. Now, this is a really special item for me because the very first video I ever made on the Signal Path was the review and teardown of the Logic series Logic analyzers. And this is the 8-bit version. I also have the 16-bit version. I'm saving that for a different giveaway. But these guys come up with a very nice software, and the software is free. You can download the latest version, and they can decode a whole bunch of different types of digital protocols, and this is very handy if you're doing embedded electronics for debugging what it is you're looking for. They have a really nice build quality. Software is really good, like I said, and this is a brand new unit. So if you've ever wanted to have one of these logic analyzers, couldn't afford one, couldn't get one in the past, but now you want to play around with it, here's your chance. And here's our second item. I know a lot of you guys love software-defined radios, and this is a 100 kilohertz to 2 gigahertz software-defined radio. I bought this a while ago, just under $100 or so. I can't remember exactly how much. And this is a really nice, particularly a good one at the time. At least it was a very good one. And there's a whole bunch of different softwares you can download. The softwares are all free and allows you to play around with these guys. This is USB powered, and one of the good things is that if you also wanted to have a spectrum analyzer, these guys are basically spectrum analyzers, and on top of that they can do digital demodulation and a whole bunch of other interesting things. So you can hook up an antenna to it and listen to all the wonders that are going on around us. So this would be also a good way for someone who wants to try some spectrum analysis and understand how these things work. So here's our second item. So I have received a lot of questions from people whenever I show something at the microscope. What microscope are you using? Well, I'm using these Dynolite USB based microscopes, and these guys have a very good image quality, and they have polarization control on them, so you can change the reflection that's coming off a different surface by playing around the polarization of the light. Obviously adjustable focus and adjustable zoom and everything. So these are pretty good. The software that comes with them is free, and as you've seen in many of my videos, the image quality is pretty good. These are actually surprisingly expensive, but anyway, this is a pretty good one. I've been very, very happy with these ones. So I'm sure if you like to look at very little things under the microscope, and I've always wanted to have one of these for doing inspection of your soldering or figuring out if there's something broken on a PCB, this would be a pretty good opportunity. So there's our third item. Now for a Picot Precision A7B, you saw me do a repair of a newer version of this. This is one version older, I believe, but this obviously does inductance as well. It doesn't have auto range or anything like that. It's a fairly older unit, but if you've always wanted to have an LCR meter, something that measures inductance, because obviously all multimeters can measure capacitance, but this is a dedicated one for measuring inductance as well, and allows you a chance to open it up, figure out how it works, what it looks like on the inside, and have your own little LCR meter. And again, like I said, this is the initial giveaway. Hopefully we'll have more of these with more advanced ones, but I've always really liked this. I've had this for so long, have done so many measurements with it, so it will be a nice little addition to your lab, I'm sure. And the next one is one of these little multi-component testers. If you've never used one of these, they're pretty convenient if you don't have a whole bunch of different instruments to try and figure out what component it is you're testing, and you can just put in something and it will figure out for you what it is if it can. So here we go, let's go ahead and try this, and if you want to see what this mysterious component actually is, you put it in there and we press test, and it will power on, and eventually it will tell you if it recognizes what this is. Let's see what it says. There it is. It is a bipolar PNP. It gives you the current gain of it and also the forward bias voltage of it. So it can do this to capacitors, resistors, potentiometers, diodes, or whatever you name it, MOSFETs, bipolar. So these are pretty handy if you always wanted to have one of these in the lab. It also has little pads there for you to press surface components on there, surface mount components on there, so you can get a little measurement back. So these are pretty popular, and it's a good learning thing to have in your lab, so very good thing for beginners. And the next one is this HP 5386A frequency counter. Now this one has the option that goes all the way up to 3 gigahertz. It also has a man level, so you can change how manly you want to be all the way to Chuck Norris, I think. But this particular one was broken. I repaired it, but the repair wasn't that interesting, so I didn't really make a video about it. But it's fully functional, and yeah, it goes all the way up to 3 gigahertz. You can open it up, take a look and see how it works on the inside, upgrade it, maybe even put a rubidium counter inside as a new reference. There's plenty of empty space in it, so it's a very cool little toy to play with, and I hope you like it. You can also add a backlight to it. These particular units didn't have a backlight, but it's pretty easy to add one, so lots of fun experiments to be had with this one as well. And the last item is this development board. Now, if you're tired of using Arduinos and you want to learn something new, this is a PIC microcontroller based evaluation board. It's a DS-PIC in particular, but it has a lot of peripherals that you can connect to and learn how to use. It has CANs and DACs and RS-485 communication interfaces, SD cards, the switches that you can control, LED matrices, character LCD screens, graphic LCD screens with a touch panel there, and all the ports are taken out. It has a built-in programmer, so you just have to connect it to the USB, download the free software, and you can download your own code into it. It's everything that you would ever need is already here, so you don't have to add anything to it. It's a completely standalone unit, and there's tons of stuff to learn. I learned to program PICs a lot on units like this one, so I think you would enjoy it. If you like embedded electronics, I think you're going to like this one. Well, there it is. That's all the stuff I have for this giveaway. So please leave a comment. Let me know what you think about everything that was said and about the approach. And if you're interested, let me know why and how, and I will do my best to go through it and figure it out. Also, leave me questions for the Q&A, because there is going to be a Q&A at some point in the future, and I'd be happy to answer your questions. So I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. Until next time.